As if things could get even more heated amidst American lawyers suing the British over trying to censor literally everything, now the very game developers within the industry that makes your favorite games are taking a stand against internet censorship. And the goal here is to censor the censorship and remove it at the root to be tossed into the abyss for the rest of time. Let's get into it. This first begins from an article at GameDeveloper.com. The IGDA calls wave of adult game delistings a form of creative suppression. This issue is not just about adult content, it is about developer rights. So the IGDA, which stands for the International Game Developers Association, is now taking an official stand against the censorship of not just the internet, but video games and what they can make as well. As they state here, the group has demanded greater transparency and fairness over how adult games are moderated after both Steam and itch.io chose to prohibit and obscure those titles on their respective platforms at the behest of payment providers like Visa and MasterCard. And they have a good reason to be pushing back like this, by the way, because as we can see here from recently at Insider Gaming, GTA Online will soon require age verification to play. Yep, they're coming for Grand Theft Auto already. And don't think for a second that these limitations and censorship will not in some way transfer over to the future release of Grand Theft Auto 6, because it absolutely will. That game will likely further be censored if it hasn't already been behind the scenes by groups like Collective Shout. That's the Australian pro-feminist organization that kinda became the catalyst to all of this. According to Tez2, as Insider Gaming claims, this person is a reliable source for news and leaks when it comes to anything Rockstar related. So Grand Theft Auto 5 and possibly even number 6 will be censored if these regulations come into effect. As this Tez2 leaker said via an alleged leaked document they have access to, and they said, Rockstar is planning to implement age assurance checks in the near future, rolling them out by region. You may need to verify your age to access GTA Online, or certain features like phone messages, text chat, Snapmatic may be restricted until you verify your age. So, if you're not 18 or older and you like playing GTA and you're excited, especially for GTA 6 like everybody else, looks like you may be getting cooked unless your mom or dad lets you play GTA on their account instead. And also, if you enjoy the content, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to keep up to date, because this censorship affects everything, including me and my channel. Thank you. But that muddies the water further, because if your parent's account gets found out to be getting misused to allow a minor to play an M-rated game with violence and gambling, I would wager that further censorship laws would then force or even ban that account for allowing what is so clearly a violation of the whole reason the censoring thing exists in the first place. Yes, I know, this is all very stupid. Tez2, however, did back up their claim that GTA and other Rockstar games are getting censored. As they showed here, they have actual proof showing code within GTA 5 clearly dictating that Rockstar is implementing censorship into their games due to this ongoing situation that is plaguing everything. Tez2 also confirms the first version of GTA 5 to be censored, unsurprisingly, will be in the UK region. Because if you don't know, the UK is ran by a bunch of Karens who want everything to be sanitized and watered down because they're all morons. And by morons, I mean the government, not the people, but anyway, expect the American version also to follow suit. I really wouldn't be surprised if these censors retroactively make their way through other Rockstar games as well, or even spill or force other games to do the same. Now, any game that has any footage or content that is considered taboo will also be censored and controlled. Otherwise, countries will just not allow said games to be sold in their regions. I fully expect if this all goes to plan, expect a lot, and I mean a lot of games suddenly changing their ways and trying their best to suddenly become E for everyone, or at the very least T for teen rated instead of the usual M for mature. Great! Can't wait for Call of Duty to replace their bullets with rubber bullets and blood sprays to be pink to signify that nobody actually dies anymore. And I guess in Grand Theft Auto, just forget about picking up a lady of the night or going to a strip club now, or I guess even shooting people. I hate it here, guys. Circling back to the game developer article I opened this video with, this is why they're pushing back. Because it's happening so fast that many of the games made by these developers will also be censored or made worse due to these ongoing changes. As GameDev.com says themselves, the reason why this is happening is because those payment companies were recently targeted by the Collective Shout campaign, which accused them of profiting from words I can't say on YouTube involving adult content on Steam and other digital platforms. As the IGDA official statement says here, the IGDA is calling for greater transparency and fairness in how adult games are moderated and actioned across major platforms. We are alarmed by the vague enforcement of policies, delisting and deplatforming legal, consensual, and ethically developed games, especially from LGBTQ+ and marginalized creators. Developers deserve clear rules, fair warnings, and the right to appeal. As they say later on, they're worried how nebulous these delistings are becoming and how payment processors have specifically targeted adult-themed games, which is, if you don't know, of course, a lot of the best-selling games currently, by the way. But what I do find interesting is how the developers do try to use their typical virtue signaling nonsense to show why this is ethically wrong, where they're using things like how this censorship specifically, attacks marginalized groups like LGBT+, and the people of color, which is honestly kind of hilarious to me. Like, what then? The censorship would be fine as long as it didn't affect those groups specifically? Like, even in the face of Armageddon, the cultists still clutch their pearls and try to virtue signal. It's just so tiresome. And this is why I fought against the nonsense in Gamergate too, because they were trying to force their own censorship in their own activist ways back then as well. But now that they're also being censored alongside those that they hate clearly, and now suddenly, wow, censorship is now a problem. You are reaping what you sowed, you weirdos. We tried to tell you that none of this was good for anyone, yet you still doubled and tripled down for literal years. Until now, when the tsunami is suddenly threatening to swallow you all up too. Like, look how they try to use activism to fight this, where it says in their official statement, games that feature consensual adult content, including queer, kink-positive, or romantic narratives, are easily targeted under vague or overly cautious enforcement, often forcing developers into silence or self-censorship because platforms fear perceived risks associated with hosting legal adult content. They're really trying to say that this censorship is only bad because it'll hurt the gays in the community? Really, guys? You're still trying to segregate people based on these things when the enemy at hand is not interested in differentiating any of you based on any of these monikers or self-imposed labels that you've placed on yourselves. In a time of war, like right now, you're no longer queer-focused or kink-positive or right or even left-leaning. You are all now just game developers, because none of that stuff matters, because if you lose this battle, all of it will be swallowed whole regardless. Just stop being stupid already. They also shown, as seen here, that the impact this will have on games on their devs, loss of income, misidentifying content, all of it is bad. The reputational harm and creative suppression especially are bad as well, which is that studios will be wrongfully attacked by users for censoring their games, especially older ones like with GTA 5 earlier. But in actuality, none of this is being done because these studios technically want it to happen, or at least I hope so anyways. These are all happening because the payment processors and governments are pushing it to happen instead. And those payment processors actually responded recently too, specifically MasterCard, who finally responded after thousands of people have been clogging up their phone lines, filling their emails with swarms of messages, and much more. People are pissed. I mean, who can blame them? But how did MasterCard respond? Here's what they said. MasterCard has not evaluated any game or required restrictions of any activity on game creator sites and platforms contrary to media reports and allegations. Our payment network follows standards based on the rule of law. Put simply, we allow all lawful purchases on our network at the same time. We require merchants to have appropriate controls to ensure MasterCard's cards cannot be used for unlawful purchases, including illegal adult content. Except that isn't true at all, is it, MasterCard? You guys, alongside Visa, actively went out of your way to censor people. You're actually lying through your teeth and you know it. I mean, this is ridiculous. Thankfully, they did get community noted on X after all, which also reads, both Steam and itch have stated their removal of adult content came from the pressure by payment processors, including MasterCard. Furthermore, MasterCard and other payment processors have a documented history of refusing service to Japanese retailers over legal adult content. So I don't really want to hear y'all over there lying like this when it's so obvious that you do indeed censor people. And it pisses me off because I do use MasterCard. Now I have to seriously reconsider not using them because these companies are pro-censorship, and honestly, it's sad to see. Especially when people can go to Collective Shout's own website right now, and Collective Shout explicitly states there in blue, as you can see, that their mass censorship campaign against things was only successful because they targeted Visa and MasterCard to help them out, so I don't want to hear it. Stop censoring people, games, anything. You're a credit card company. You're not the moral arbiters of what people can or can't enjoy. I just hate this sort of thing, but it's good to see even the game developers pushing back like this because it's needed. Even itch.io, which was censored by MasterCard and Visa, spoke out recently saying they are in the process currently of re-adding games that have adult themes to their platform, again due to the intense backlash. As seen here though, currently it's only not safe for work games that are going to be sold for free, so it's not the full win that we want it to be yet. They also state down there in the Stripe update, which is another card company, they don't allow games to be bought with their service that is content designed for you-know-what gratification. Stripe did say to itch, as seen here, that they cannot support adult content currently due to their banking partners not being okay with it, but they hope to support it in the future, which is kinda stupid if you ask me. I mean, they're censoring literal adults from buying things they want using their own money. It's incredible. It's like these people want to be your own mom or dad and lord over you despite you being nowhere near 18 or below age-wise. It's just so dumb. So while some people may try to say itch is bringing the games back, not yet, it isn't, but it is a good start at least. I mean, users are also saying, as Chibi Reviews shows here, that they are having their VPNs blocked even if they don't live in the UK. So yeah, this is getting worldwide and it's getting very unstable very fast. And there needs to be action taken to stop it, since as seen here, the UK is also implementing a new feature that does force you to sign in and verify your age before you even use things like Google anymore. All to protect the kids, but in actuality, it's just meant to spy on you and everything that you do. Of course, Collective Shout as well seen here, they're now locking down their comment sections and starting to block people who push it back against them. Funny how these types work. First they try to censor all the games, then they censor the hate sent their way too because they can't handle it, but the IGDA, in case you forgot, that's the International Game Developer Association, has made a nice list that I'll share with all of you here, so please feel free to screenshot this part of the video, because it would be a real shame if they took that screenshot and then shared it online so people knew exactly what to call and what emails to send their concerns to as well. Oh, look at that, you even got the website links too. Sure would be problematic for Visa and MasterCard if those got shared around as well. While it is good to see the game developers rising up like this to cancel the very censorship harming them, I can't help but feel, I don't know, confused by this as well. Because many of these developers tried to ruin franchises with activism over the past few years and then some. And they self-censored their own games, but only when those censors benefited their ideas and their beliefs. Like turning legacy female characters uglier or more clothed and removing what they called problematic elements from games, or completely just censoring moments in other games people found too triggering when remasters or remakes were done. Like remember, as seen here from Smash JT, when the Tomb Raider remasters by Crystal Dynamics self-censored and removed the posters of Lara Croft because they thought it was too risque. Or when Bethesda self-censored one of Oblivion Remastered's quest in the Dark Brotherhood despite nobody telling them to do that, by them putting clothes on NPCs when they didn't have them originally, or how Dead Rising Remaster removed nudity, and what they called problematic language from the remaster and then everyone hated the game now. Or how Grand Theft Auto's horrible trilogy remaster removed Confederate flags because it was also deemed problematic now. Or when Ubisoft self-censored Assassin's Creed Origins by putting seashells over the private parts of many statues depicted during that time to hide what they called nudity for players that were playing a game that was rated M for mature, by the way. Or how We Love Katamari's remaster removed sound effects and character sounds that were deemed inappropriate suddenly by the publisher or even the dev studio. Remember when Crystal Dynamics added a content warning before playing the Tomb Raider remasters because they worried people would find the games? And the studio racist by association and everyone thought it was really dumb and stupid that they did that? Or remember when they removed what they deemed adult-themed content in Resident Evil 4, a M for mature game by the way, in the VR version, because Karens got mad saying it was too lewd, so they censored it to avoid backlash? Remember when Fire Emblem Fates all the way back in 2016 removed a petting minigame in the Western version? Because it was deemed too adult-themed, yet it exists in the original version that you can play overseas? Remember when the Australian version of South Park The Stick of Truth got censored and the devs had to remove 3 minigames? So instead they put a crying koala in the game instead? That's real, by the way, go look it up. Also, remember when Silent Hill 2 Remake changed character designs and de-adult themed the characters within it because it was problematic? And people tried to protect what was blatantly being done just to appease activists and people who get their feelings hurt all the time? Remember when Yakuza 3 Remaster removed a so-called transphobic side quest, but then they went back months later and re-added that content due to backlash because people got really mad about it because they were appeasing to Western activists? Remember when Persona 3 Reload removed a transphobic line from the remake because they didn't want to offend the terminally online offended types? Remember when they removed graphic content from Mafia Definitive Edition and even removed what they called racist lines from the game? Because it was deemed problematic and went against the standards of what these game devs and publishers wanted today despite the game not taking place in modern times? Remember in The Last of Us 1 remake and Naughty Dog changing some of Joel's lines because they were deemed problematic or too outdated for the modern gaming audience? Remember in Saints Row 3 Remastered, they removed problematic content there too, then someone tried to make a mod on Nexus Mods to restore that content, but then if you clicked on it now, the mod doesn't exist because they censored the mod that modded out the censoring? Like, I could keep going, but the point here is that for an industry that so routinely self-censors itself and their own games, to simply not step on the toes of players who never asked to be censored in the first place, it's kind of ridiculous to now see them drawing a line in the sand like this. They were so fine with censoring the things that you wanted in your video games that they didn't want specifically. But as soon as they don't have a say in what gets censored anymore, now it's a problem and now they're suddenly pushing back. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Look, I'm gonna keep it simple. If your game is rated M for mature, anything should go. It's literally labeled to be made for people who are actual adults. If your game is rated T for teen, yeah, sure, don't show nudity because your game is meant for teens, hence the label. But this whole censoring of adult-themed content is getting ridiculous. It's like these weirdos are trying to put us in a Fisher-Price room where all the edges are sanded off and we're all wearing cushy pillows just strapped to every part of our body so that we don't hurt ourselves. Look, I didn't agree with the game industry on the many censoring things that they did as I showed you, and trust me, there's even more, but this video has enough. But I don't condone anyone censoring games, even if it means I have to protect the very morons who tried to censor the games that I enjoyed too. You may be stupid, but I'm still gonna protect you because I'm not evil like you are. Yes, I do still think they're all dumb. I mean, stop censoring games in general, okay? We need to cancel all of this. Please use the phone numbers and such that I shared in this video, the emails too. Clearly it's getting to Visa and MasterCard, and honestly, good. I'm glad that it is. I want them to regret ever even suggesting the censorship of content ever again for the rest of time. And between the lawsuit I covered in my previous video, the other problems that are plaguing games that I've covered in other videos, and now we have this, video games, and really the world at large right now, is a complete and utter mess for sure. But there is light, okay guys? It's not over. We're not gonna lose this. Keep up the heat and the good work, everyone. And please remember this, okay? It's really important, okay? Remember that you're winning this, okay? You are winning, so keep it up. Thank you for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.